Hey, how is it going, everyone? I did not plan on doing this today, but I figured why not? Because I did the live reaction video to the Golden Globes with Max, my boyfriend, and it's a lot to process when that's happening live, and I feel like we can kind of do a deep dive, look at the list together, and see what our thoughts are regarding the Globes. So let's see who's in the chat real quick and then we'll get onto the list. Hey, Sergeant Garatana, how are you? Nice to see you here. Justin, always, and the Ward Coast Nerdy Film Girl for being awesome. Oh my gosh, that's so sweet. Thank you very much. Max is at work, but he is in the chat. It's very kind of him. Everyone, let's go NFG. Yep, they're all saying hi to each other. Tara's house guy, always nice to see you. And we got Tyler Wolf in the house as well. Very nice to see you here, Tyler. I'd love to for you to chime in the chat regarding some of these nominations. Let's see, Sergeant Giratana, I got a big live stream to do tonight. First, let's check out the Golden Globes. Oh, I'll be at work while you're live streaming, but I'd love to check it out. So that's pretty cool. So I'm going to share my screen right now, and we can take a look together at the beginning of award season. Now bear in mind, as we're looking at the Golden Globes, they're not always, the full on determination of what is going to be nominated at the Oscars. We've seen that time and time again. One of my favorites was the year The Tourist was nominated at the Golden Globes, and both Angelina Jolie and Johnny Depp were both nominated as well. And it was one of those why are they here? And they think they even were kind of like, why are we here? So there's always a weird one. Also, I remember Greatest Showman, that wound up getting a ton of nominations, didn't win anything. So, we could take it with a little bit of the grain of salt, but it's kind of nice to see how the critics are leaning a bit. I've seen the Spirit Awards nominations, and there were some really nice surprises there. So let's kind of take a look here. We got Best Motion Picture Drama. As we all know, the Globes does, they separate it from drama and musical or comedy for Best Picture, whereas the Oscars, it's going to be 10, no more than 10 nominees, and it doesn't really matter what the genre is. So which will make more sense when we get to musical or comedy down here is very interesting. But what would you would actually qualify to be a musical or comedy? But and the thing is too, guys, right now, currently, I have not seen as many as I usually do for this time of year. My job that I have kind of makes it very limited of when I can go to the theater. So a lot of these I'm probably going to wind up having to stream them before the Oscars as they get released on streaming, which is sad because I would prefer to just see them in theater, but I'll try to do my best. Brutalist, I think I've got to see in the theater. I'm going to make that really a point. It's this 3.5-hour epic movie with Adrian Brody, Guy Pearce, and they have actually built in a 15-minute intermission into the film. And I kind of wish they did that with Killers of the Flower Moon. I feel like that would have made the Killers of the Flower Moon experience better. I think it's well paced. The third act, though, to me, with Killers of the Flower Moon, just went on and on and on. I think that was its fault. And I feel like that if there had been a 15-minute intermission, maybe it would have, I don't know, fit it better. There, lots of movies in the 50s and 60s and 40s. Anytime they were a 3 to 5, I think it's Cleopatra, I think, is 5.5 hours long or something like that. Something like that. They definitely had intermissions, and I think that it behooved them to do that. So when we're looking here, we got The Brutalist. I think that is a huge, huge contender. I think it's something that people are just, talking about like crazy. And as I'm kind of looking at this now in hindsight, I kind of, we've been talking about how they've kind of dropped the ball on Sing Sing. A24, they have a hard time handling multiple movies, I got to tell you, because what was it? Last year they were pushing Past Lives, which I loved. But they also had, the Iron Claw, and they dropped the ball in the Iron Claw, and then the Iron Claw couldn't get any nominations at the Oscars, and I think that was just like a really big mistake. So I think we're kind of seeing this again, where a movie like Sing Sing, who I feel like last year people were like, oh, Coleman Domingo is going to win Best Actor, Sing Sing's going to win Best Picture, blah 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 blah. Now that movie has come out and had like the smallest release ever, I think that we're seeing now that they're really pushing The Brutalist way more than Sing Sing, and they're not equal. They're not given equal treatment when it's coming to this. They are re-releasing Sing Sing, which I'm excited about because I still haven't seen it. But when you compare, The Brutalist is now kind of like the must-see film, I'd say, as far as a lot of these go. That's definitely where A24's priority is, and then Baby Girl as well. They're pushing that, so now they have got 3 actually. So they're one of them is definitely getting cast aside, and it seems it's going to be Sing Sing, unfortunately. A Complete Unknown. These musical biopics are kind of like a shoe-in for a Best Actor nomination or Best Actress nomination, depending on who it's about. I was not the biggest fan of the Freddie Mercury one. I don't know if it was just me, but I kind of feel like that film was way overhyped. What I'm hearing though about this Complete Unknown is that Chalamet is incredible and that the film's fine. It's not amazing, but he gives an amazing performance. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. But and speaking of Bohemian Rhapsody, that's what it was. I remember that same year they had Rocket Man, and Taron Egerton played Elton John, and I thought that movie was astronomically better than Bohemian Rhapsody. But that's just me. I'm gonna get into the chat here and just see real quick what's going on. People are going off. No, as I was saying, they kind of don't. I mean, they do and they don't. It's just it's very good information to have, and moving forward, most of these are going to be nominated, but it's not the only thing to go by. Terrace House Guy said saw Challengers in the cinema, thought it was very underrated and got way too much hate. I don't think it got hate. Maybe we're just in different circles. From what I've seen is that people really love that movie. So I'm rooting for Challengers in any category that it can get. I know Zendaya was nominated. We'll talk about that later, but yeah, Challengers rocks. So, and I'm glad they got Best Score nomination. But again, we'll get into that a little later. Mindless Me is here. What's going on? Evening work is both great and awful. I love working into the evening, having mornings free for appointments and such, but awful for a movie theater going. Yeah, dude, I get it. I work in the evening as well. And so that's why I have a weird time when I stream. So sometimes it's hard to get people. I didn't actually invite anyone to this. I just this was spur of the moment. It was kind of well, I'm just going to go on and on and on about the Globes for an hour and see who wants to hear me rant. So that's kind of what this turned into. Let's see. Defo feel like there's been significant brand dilution in the past yearish when it comes to A24. It's they're I think that they put out I love for the most part I love the films that they put out. I think they have a really keen eye on what they should be producing and distributing. But I just think they're treating themselves like they're a gigantic company, and to a certain extent that they are, but they're not like a Universal or something. And speaking of Universal, we'll get into some tea with Universal and the substance a little bit that I found very interesting. A24 or Neon. I love both so much. It's so hard. I think Neon has been more successful recently when it comes to award season. But I do love both. And Neon's killing it. Yeah, a film goer agrees with me. Bohemian Rhapsody sucks so hard. I don't know if I would say it sucks so hard, but I mean compared to Rocket Man, yeah, for sure. Okay, so we got a Rafa Balde in here. Very nice for you to join today. We're gonna get back to the list here and let's go through them. And I know I'm spending forever on Best Motion Picture Drama, but these are the main categories, these two, because then there won't be a lot to say when we move forward. So this is my opinion on these films that are nominated. Conclave, I absolutely loved. I thought the performances were fantastic. The cinematography was gorgeous. It's the same director that did the All Quiet on the Western Front remake. If you saw that from a couple years ago, loved that, by the way. I thought that was just outstanding. So I loved what the director did with this film. Ralph Fiennes, really quiet performance, but fantastic performance. Stanley Tucci, oh my God, the guy from 30 Rock from the Sun, not 30 Rock. I just combined two shows. Third Rock from the Sun. John Lithgow. Yes, John Lithgow. He's fantastic in it. John Lithgow plays like someone you just know has like bad secrets, and he plays this like fakeness really well. And he gave me the heebie-jeebies, and I loved it. And then Isabella Rossellini, which a lot of people don't know this, but Isabella Rossellini is Ingrid Bergman's daughter. So if you've ever seen Casablanca, you'll know who Ingrid Bergman is. Yeah, and she's nominated for Conclave for Best Supporting Actress. She's barely in that movie. She's great, but I don't know if she does enough in the time that she's on the screen to warrant a Best Supporting Actress nomination. So, not a nomination, but a win. It warrants a nomination. Sure, fine, give it to her. But like, as far as the win there, I just don't think there's enough screen time with her. Dune Part 2, the biggest snub of the season, I think, is how people feel about Dune Part 2. I love Dune Part 2. I think that Denis Villeneuve keeps getting in this weird thing with this movie. That he can't get. I feel like he wasn't nominated last year. I don't know if he's going to get nominated for the Oscars this year. The competition is very high. As for the director, as far as what I'm seeing, maybe that's not the case, and that they really should have just gone with someone else. But they're gotten rid of someone and put him in. But for me, I think that it is tough. Maybe if he's doing Dune Part 3, maybe it'll be a Peter Jackson scenario with Lord of the Rings, because I think the first two films did not win Best Picture, and then the third one did. Maybe that'll happen here with Dune. But as far as what the critics have been showing us so far, it's not getting as many awards as people were probably thinking it would. Nickel Boys, I have not seen yet. I've heard just amazing things about the cinematography. I'm looking forward to checking this one out. I don't have a lot to say on it, but I just know it's been on my radar, and people seem to be really enjoying the fact that it's getting recognition. So I'm looking forward to that. And then September 5, this one was like, came out of nowhere. And excuse me. This movie came out of nowhere on this list. I think I just saw a poster for it or a trailer or something, and I thought it was just one of these, I don't even know. I wouldn't even have thoughts that it would be considered for this. Not that the movie's bad, because I haven't seen it, but like the way it was being marketed, I just didn't really. I think this one shocked everyone. So if anyone has seen September 5, let me know what you think about this movie. And I will obviously I try to watch all of these, so I'll probably check it out at some point. Do we think this is getting an Oscar nomination? September 5? I don't know. Maybe it's the best thing in the world, and everyone's just sleeping on it, because I certainly have been sleeping on it. So now we get Best Picture, musical or comedy. So this is, the category that doesn't really make sense, but we're going to go with it anyway. So obviously we have Nora. I haven't seen it. I can't wait. I'm so excited. I love Sean Baker. I think The Florida Project is one of the best movies ever made. If you're watching the film and you're like, why is she saying this is the best movie ever made? One of them, it's the ending that makes that movie just so miraculous. I can't recommend The Florida Project enough. It took my breath away after it was done, and I was sobbing, but like, my goodness, it's so great. It's very cinema verite. It's very like a look into to people's lives that you would never think about. I just absolutely loved The Florida Project, so I'm really happy that Sean Baker is getting so much recognition for Anora, and I can't wait to see Anora. And Neon put out Anora. I know someone mentioned earlier A24 or Neon. They're both killing it. They're just both killing it as studios. So then we've got Challengers. I'm thrilled the Challengers is here. I was very concerned because we got 2 Luca Guadagnino films in 1 year. And I thought that because they're pushing queer so much for Daniel Craig, that challengers would be forgotten about. And that is not the case. And I'm very thrilled because I really liked that movie. I think that the direction of the tennis sequences were phenomenal. I don't think I've ever seen a sports film, like big ending, directed like that. It was so action filled, fast paced. Um, the angles that were chosen to showcase the tennis ball and the what was going on, it was just phenomenal. Score was fantastic. I loved so much about this movie. So I'm really happy that it was not forgotten about and it's on this list. Amelia Perez. I like musicals. I do. I have no desire to see this movie at all, but I'm going to watch it at some point. I've said this on other streams that I think that it's something that people don't necessarily think is that great. Like they think it's fine. Apparently, the performances are great, which is why you'll see them in the nominations. But I mean, I'll watch it, but I'm not like looking forward to it. I've seen a few clips and I was kind of baffled from what I was watching. So, we'll see. Maybe it's amazing though, and I'm just being a hater, but I think this got the most nominations and I'm just not thrilled about it. But maybe we'll see why. Maybe once I see it, I'll be like, oh, now I get why it got so many nominations. But I don't think that's going to be the case with Amelia Perez. A Real Pain, Jesse Eisenberg's directorial debut. Kieran Culkin is the semi, I guess he's going to be supporting, but I think he's kind of like the main guy opposite Jesse Eisenberg the whole time. So he probably should be in the best actor consideration, but I think he'll have a harder time winning. Kind of one of those situations where they kind of move people around depending on what odds they have of winning. So I'm looking forward to seeing that as well. Jesse directed it and wrote it. I think I'm really excited to see how he is as a director. So then we have The Substance. I absolutely love this movie. I can't believe it's on so many categories here. Like, I love this. I love how much love The Substance is getting. It's definitely one of the best films of the year, if not the best. I don't know if I would say it's the best, but it's definitely like in the top 5 for sure. I'll probably do like towards the end of the year, like a best of the year, according, to what I felt at least. Substance was so good. I'm so excited that it's getting the recognition. I don't even know what else to say about it. If you haven't seen The Substance and you want to check it out, it is incredibly gory. It is so, like, if you are not good with gore, then I would probably skip it. But if you can stomach it, I highly recommend it. It is so phenomenal. And Demi Moore, amazing comeback performance, like incredible. And Margot Qualley was like the perfect pairing for her. So, and Dennis Quaid was really good in it too. Dennis Quaid is like the creepiest, weirdest. Ugh, you hate him. So yeah, I'm very excited about The Substance being here. And of course, I think that, man, I'm so sorry. It's very dry in my apartment right now from the heat. We all know, if you're following my channel, you know I loved Wicked. I thought it was a phenomenal adaptation. I'm not surprised it's here. Not surprised. Now, for these, who's going to win? I think when it comes to best motion picture musical comedy, I think it's really going to be Anora, Wicked. Yeah, I think it's going to be Anora, Wicked. If Amelia Perez wins this, I will be like really pissed off in this category. I would just be like, are you kidding me? I think it is probably between Anora and Wicked. If they want to do something crazy and give it to The Substance, obviously I would be thrilled. But I don't think they're going to do that. Also, challengers. Like, I love the challengers this year. I don't think it deserves the win, but it definitely deserves for the nomination for sure. And then with drama, I think, as far as what I'm hearing, I mean, I would assume it's going to be The Brutalist or Conclave. I don't think that the other ones have a shot, really. But again, I don't know what the hell September 5 is. So I'm going to check that one out. And obviously, I as I said, I can't wait to see Nickel Boys. But, like, my goodness, September 5, wouldn't that be hilarious? If September 5 won this, that would be so funny. We'd all be like, what? Let's go into the chat and then we'll move on. Oh, good. Tyler saw September 5. I saw September 5 on early release yesterday. Intense, well-directed, and acted thriller. It's getting a lot of hate already because of current events, but it's unrelated to what's happening now. Okay, I'm definitely going to check it out. That's really cool that you saw it. So I wonder, Tyler, were you as baffled though, like when you saw that being nominated? Because like no one's talked about it for award season, so it's really interesting that it just kind of slid in there. And it's a Paramount movie. That's strange. That's weird. Usually Paramount, like, I mean, that's a huge studio. You'd think they'd be like promoting the hell out of that movie for award season, but not the case. Denny not even getting a director nomination makes me want to sharpen my pitchfork. I know. He's a phenomenal director. And you know what? If he doesn't do it for the Dune series, he has a huge career ahead of him still. Like that guy's not going anywhere. He's going to get an Oscar at some point. It's kind of like Nolan, right? Like Nolan made, a ton of movies before he finally got a best director win. Maybe, and some people would have argued probably that he should have gotten best director for like Interstellar or The Prestige or something. Like, you know what I mean? So I think that yes, it sucks that Denny is not here, but he's going to get one at some point, Let's see, Tyler. Queer had a good performance, but was such a slog and the characters were really underdeveloped. That's what I've heard. I've heard that. And that's why Queer is not getting any nominations except for Daniel Craig. It's all about his performance. And that is also why people are thrilled that Challengers is still being recognized, because people were really concerned that Queer was going to take away all of the Challengers consideration. So not the case. Soundtrack for Challengers was great. I have one of the tracks on my workout list. Oh my God. The music is so good in that movie. Loved it. Great score, great sound. Everything was so good. Tyler says Kieran and Jesse should be swapped award wise, but both great. Yeah, I know. And they're definitely like, Jesse's definitely going to be nominated for writing and directing. Maybe not directing, but like writing for sure. So, we'll see how that goes. But I think to put Kieran in that role up against someone like Adrian Brody is going to be, I mean, any of them really would be a really tough win. It would be hard to win for that. Sorry, I'll pass on the substance. Hey, that is okay. It is not everyone's cup of tea. If you do not like body, I know I said it's gory, but if you don't like body horror either, like that's a huge part of it. So very like John Carpenter. I wonder if Luca Guadagnino and Daniel Craig are actually going to end up doing that Sergeant Rock movie for DC. I've heard about that, and I have no idea. That it seems like the Twilight Zone to me. I don't know. Maybe it's a good idea. I know nothing about the character, so I would love to hear your thoughts, though, on that. Substance, 10 out of 10. Yes, I agree. Do you think they'll delay giving Wicked any awards until part 2? Sometimes that's the case, and I actually thought that was going to happen, but I don't think that's going to be the case. Okay, I'll give. Oh my gosh, I got a super chat. That is so sweet. I'm gonna. I think that's later on. Yeah, it's down here. Okay, that's so sweet of you, Terrace House Guy. It's great that I was on your comment anyway. With Wicked, I think what could easily happen, and we'll get into actresses and all that, but I think Ariana Grande has a very high chance of winning Best Supporting Actress. Now, Glinda, her character does not really. I mean, she's in the part 2 for sure, but it's not like her moment. Whereas this part 2 is definitely more Elphaba, like drama, intense, dark, heavy. So if anyone was going to win for an acting award for part 1, it would be Ariana, and it would be for supporting actress. And like, so I think in that sense, like I don't even think Ariana would get nominated next year, just because of how the play goes. I mean, maybe, but we'll see who's in Best Supporting Actress next year. But as far as I can see right now, I think it makes sense to give her the award for the first film. I don't know what else that they're really going to give it. I mean, costumes for sure. It has to win for Best Costume, and a few other things. We'll get into those nominations for Wicked later. But yeah, I think it's it does feel like a complete film in a way. So I don't think it's crazy if Wicked gets some awards this year. Amelia Perez gives me cringe. Same with me. So, hey, Emmett, thanks for stopping by. Haven't seen you in a bit there. I'm only surprised because it technically hasn't been released yet. I only saw the trailer when I watched here. For the September 5, is that what we're talking about? Maybe. I think that's maybe what you're talking about. Yeah, I'm so surprised about it. Haven't seen Challengers, might see it eventually. I highly recommend it. It's really good. If you like sports movies too, like there's a lot going on in that movie that I really like. Um, thank you so much for the super chat. Just supporting the Megalopolis watch along review wine fund. Oh my god, we should. I got to get the ISO cubes on this and the Doolies. Doolies need to join me on a drunken Megalopolis watch live stream. Um, let's see. This is an odd Golden Globe, but it might be just me. I don't know. I mean, it's a little all over the place in a certain regard. I think, but a lot of the stuff that like I was hoping to see on here is here. So without we'll move ahead here, and we'll go to Best Picture Animated. I think it's really going to be Inside Out 2 and The Wild Robot. I think it's going to be, I've heard great things about Memoir of a Snail and Flow. I don't know why Moana 2 is on this list. Like, I have no idea why. I heard the songs are horrible. I heard it's such a mid movie. I don't even know why it's being considered. I wouldn't be surprised if for the Oscars, if they don't nominate Moana 2 at all. Like, I just don't even understand why it's here. Wallace and Gromit always deserves a nomination with whatever they do. So I'm absolutely fine with that. But yeah, if you guys have seen Flo and Memoir of a Snail, or even the Wallace and Gromit film, because I haven't seen that one either, let me know if you think that those deserve to win over Inside Out 2 and The Wild Robot, because I would just love to know. Because right now, I loved both Inside Out 2 and The Wild Robot, and it's really like, I'd be happy with either, to be honest. Wild Robot did get a score nomination, which I was thrilled, because the Wild Robot score is so good, and oh my goodness, I didn't think they were going to do it. I really did not think they were going to give the Wild Robot a best score nomination, but they did. So happy they did that. But we'll talk about that later. I don't even want to talk about the Cinematic and Box Office Achievement Award because it's just so stupid. If it's going by money, then it'll go to Inside Out 2. If it's just going by domestic money, and I think Deadpool and Wolverine made more domestically than Inside Out 2, I could be wrong. You guys can check me on that, but I'm pretty sure that's the case. Then they'll give to Deadpool and Wolverine. This category is just to get the average person that doesn't go to the movies a lot to like tune in. I swear to God, and like to get like more celebs there to like draw like more popular people, which is so stupid. It's fine. But like Gladiator 2 is here. I mean, it's not even gonna make that much money compared to like, I don't know, Twisters that made mid money. Alien Romulus made mid money. Like, I don't even understand why these are here. So, yeah, so we're going to skip that. Best Motion Picture, non-English language. I have not seen any of these. Usually I get to the international films last, and I'll try to like bang those out before the Oscars. So Amelia Perez is here again. I know I have to watch it. I really don't want to, but I'm going to have to watch it. All We Imagine Is Light, I hear, is phenomenal. And I've also heard amazing things about The Seed of the Sacred Fig. I know nothing else about any of the other movies. If you do know anything about them, I would love to hear your input. So now we're getting into some juicy stuff. So we've got Best Performance by a Female Actor in a Motion Picture Drama. Pamela Anderson. Happy to see her here. That woman, I think, just deserves it. A recognition. I'm so glad like she's here. I think that she's probably not going to win. I don't think there's any chance that she's going to win. But I think that the fact that she's on this list speaks volumes. And Hollywood is embracing Pamela Anderson with open arms. And if she wants to keep pursuing acting as far as like doing serious roles, like go for it, girl, because you can if you've gotten a Golden Globe nomination. Like clearly you deserve to be here. Angelina Jolie, I'm happy to see her back in the race. I have not heard many things about Maria. I've heard just like it's the same director that did Jackie and the Princess Diana film. I'm blanking on his name right now, but this is kind of like a trilogy of these like female biopics that he's done. And what I'm hearing about Maria is kind of how I felt about the Jackie film, where it's like it's an okay movie. Like it was fine. Like there's certain things that I loved about the Jackie movie. Like certain moments I just thought were phenomenal, but like as a whole, it didn't really stand the test of time, I would say. And I kind of feel that way. That's how the Maria film is going to be. I've heard like her performance is amazing, but as a whole, it's not like incredible. And I think there's a parallel here if we think about it with Angelina Jolie and Daniel Craig in both of their, films, because I don't see Maria getting nominations anywhere else. So just like Daniel Craig in Queer. So do I think she's going to win? I think she's more of likely than, Pamela Anderson, but I don't think it's a, I don't think it's a, you know, I don't think it's game over yet. Also, I kind of like this year that like it's not one movie that's going to sweep everything. I kind of love that because we've had so many of those recently. And yeah, those movies are great, like Oppenheimer and Everything Everywhere All at Once. But it gets so boring when you're watching the Oscars and it's just the same movie winning over and over and over and over and over. So I'm like, I'm digging how award season is starting off. People don't really know yet. And a lot of different films. Well, there's awards to go around to everyone. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm excited. Nicole Kidman, Baby Girl, I think is technically the front runner so far. And I think that, A24 is pushing her. They're going to push the movie. It comes out Christmas for nothing but great things. That woman works so much. She's in everything. And, good for her. I'm really excited to see this film. I've heard it's like a reverse. Wait, let me phrase this properly. It's like the reversed Fatal Attraction scenario. So man has an affair, the affair turns into a nightmare. I think that's kind of what this is, except with a female and a much younger man, I think is what's added. Like Glenn Close wasn't necessarily like super young in Fatal Attraction compared to Michael oh my god, what is his name? We all know him, Michael Douglas. But yeah, so it's kind of like that scenario. Fernanda Torres in I'm Still Here and Kate Winslet in Lee and Tilda Swinton in The Room Next Door. I had no idea these were going to get nominated. It's kind of strange to see Kate Winslet here for Lee since no one's been talking about that movie at all. I think this category is going to change dramatically when it comes to the Oscar nominations. I think the first, I don't even know if Pamela Anderson's going to get a nomination for the Oscar. I haven't seen the film yet. If she's amazing, then maybe the top three will stay with the Oscars. But and they're going to combine. They'll probably throw Cynthia Erivo in there or something. I'm not even Demi Moore. Yeah. So this is like the bottom three. You're not going to see them at the Oscars. I just guarantee it, unless something really weird happens. Then we've got best performance by a male in a motion picture drama. So we've got Adrian Brody, Timothée Chalamet, Daniel Craig, Coleman Domingo, Ralph Fiennes, and Sebastian Stan. Good for you, Sebastian. You're nominated in 2 categories for 2 different movies this year. No one wanted to talk to you at Actors on Actors. That's a shame. It's shameful, and people just can't have an actual conversation anymore about anything, it seems. Everyone's too scared. And you can just have a reasonable conversation. It's okay. Doesn't matter what side of the political spectrum you're on. We can all just have a conversation. He was playing a character. Like, it's a real person, and he's now the president of the United States. But, like, doesn't need to be so scary. For this, I think the one to beat right now, I guess it's really, Daniel Craig for Queer he's being pushed a lot. But I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't win. I think that really it's Ralph Fiennes or Adrian Brody. I think Timothée Chalamet is probably, he's in a good position as well. And my God, do they love giving the musical biopics, best actor wins. I'm looking forward to seeing The Brutalist, and I've heard Adrian Brody's just amazing. And if fun trivia fact, Adrian Brody is still the youngest person to have ever won Best Actor. And that was for The Pianist. And he was 28, and no one has beaten that record. Not that it matters. Like, age doesn't really matter when it comes to acting, but I think it's an interesting fact. Yeah. And again, I was talking about this earlier. Sing Sing, A24 dropping the ball. Coleman Domingo, like from last year, was like the front runner supposed to be the front runner this year, and he's not. I have not seen it. I heard he's amazing. I really want to see the film. But I do not think this is Coleman Domingo's year. You know what will be Coleman Domingo's year is when he plays Michael Jackson's dad, Joe Jackson, in the Michael Jackson biopic, which will be coming out, I think, 2026. And maybe it's coming out next year. If it's coming out next year, I'm going to bet you right now, Coleman Domingo, it'll probably be Best Supporting, obviously, because he's playing, Joe Jackson. Coleman Domingo wins for his portrayal of Joe Jackson in the Michael Jackson biopic. I mean, I would not be shocked. I mean, we can see the writing on the wall right now. He's going to be so good. I can't even, I'm so excited for that movie. Okay, you know what? This is a good place to get back into the chat. Why Moana 2? Because Disney. I know, but they can just focus on Inside Out 2. Like, just focus on your wins. I mean, financially, Moana 2 is a huge win, but, you know. Oh my God. Sorry, I didn't mean to bring you up twice, Tyler. Not enough wine in the world can erase Megalopolis from existence. Yeah, I agree. I absolutely agree. Woo Yay Twisters, my baby Glenn Powell. Yeah, Glenn Powell is actually nominated, and you'll see that momentarily as well. For Hitman, which was interesting. It's they try to have fun with that category when it comes to some of these, and they certainly did with Glenn Powell. Deadpool and Wolverine deserve an Oscar. I mean, maybe on the technical level, but I just don't know if. I'm trying to think what would. Well, I feel like there's other things that would beat it on a technical level. I mean, if you wanted to give Deadpool and Wolverine anything, it'll be that cinematic box office thing. But again, no one knows what the rules are. So it's like, why are we nominating movies and then it's just going to go to the movie that made the most money? Anyway, so who knows? Very nice. I literally only got into Glenn Powell after seeing your Hitman review recommendation, Nerdy Film Girl. Yeah, I think it's I enjoyed Hitman, but like my goodness, like that couple is like the most toxic couple I've ever seen. And it's like you're supposed to root for them at the end and you're like, wait a second. They're kind of the worst. And that guy definitely didn't deserve to die at the one they killed at the end. But let's see. Yeah. I will support Tilda Swinton until my dying days. Yeah, I mean, of course she's amazing. She's one of the best actresses in general. Like you can't touch Tilda Swinton, but it was a surprise to see that. I mean, I would love to see the film. I just if a movie is only running one nomination and it's an acting nomination, it makes me feel like if they're not like, my goodness, it's if it's not the best acting you've ever seen, they're probably not going to win, because I just feel like you need the other nominations to kind of boost that movie's chances and these performances. Does that happen all the time? No. Sometimes you do get like a curveball, but I think you guys get what I'm saying. Angelina Jolie has my support. Hell yes. She's a great actress. I'm glad to see her doing something serious again. Still need to carve out some time to watch Heretic. I'm loving Hugh Grant's evil villain resurgence arc in the past. Dude, okay. Hugh Grant in Heretic he slays. It's so good. I can't even tell you guys. For something that, he took the role so seriously and he did such an astronomically good job that I'm just so thrilled he's nominated, and we'll get to that as well. I'm going to start like getting through these awards a little bit faster because I'm only going to be streaming for an hour today. So, yes, proud of Angelina. I agree. The Apprentice came at the wrong time. I mean, is there ever a right time for a movie like that? I mean, I really want to see it. So, and I'm happy that Jeremy Strong and Sebastian Stan got nominated. I don't know. I guess maybe wait 4 years to put the movie out. I don't know. Maybe it was almost the right time. I wonder though if the election went the other way, if Sebastian Stan would be able to have a conversation on actors and actors. I think that's really what it comes down to, and I hate it. I hate it because that there should be no politics should not have any influence on the movies when it comes to this stuff. You know what I mean? It's like, come on, we're all adults. Said it yesterday. Amy Adams deserves her flowers. She's been overlooked for so long whilst delivering rock solid performances. I know. She's destined for an Oscar at some point. I just don't know if Night Bitch is going to be the one that makes it happen. I'm not sure how I feel about the Michael Jackson biopic. Antoine Fuqua is an odd choice for a director. And how much of the film is going to be about Michael, and how much is it going to tackle the controversy? I think it's going to probably tackle the controversy. I think you can't make a Michael Jackson film without acknowledging, like the lawsuits and things like that. I'm looking forward to it. I think, I saw the Broadway show, the MJ show, which was great. And they acknowledged the controversy in that. They addressed it, and they didn't really, it is what it is to a certain extent. And I think that, that was a part of his life as far as like the accusations go. So I think they're definitely gonna have to address it. Okay, back to the categories. So I know you brought up Amy Adams and Night Bitch. Yeah, she was a front runner for a while. I don't know if that's the case anymore. In this category, I think it's Mikey Madsen or Demi Moore. I think that that's definitely the front runners for this. If Demi Moore won for The Substance, I would lose it, like absolutely lose it, because acknowledging a horror film, finally giving an actress an award for a performance in a horror film would be just huge. There's just been so many that we're never given the chance. Happy to see Zendaya here. I don't think she's gonna get an Oscar nomination, to be fair. I'm very happy that she's here, though. She's not gonna win, but I'm happy she's here. Best performance by a male actor in a motion picture, musical or comedy. We've got Jesse Eisenberg, Hugh Grant, Heretic, amazing. Gabrielle LaBelle, Saturday Night, Jesse Plemons, Kinds of Kindness, and Glenn Powell, Hitman, and Sebastian Stan for another movie. So that's what I'm talking about. The man is in 2 separate movies, and no one wanted to talk to him. 2 separate movies that got nominated. Okay, so we've got, I don't think Jesse Eisenberg's going to win here. I don't think Hugh Grant's going to win. That would be crazy. I don't think he's going to. Well, Gabriel, now that I'm looking at it, this is interesting because this is such a strange one. They're not going to give it to Glenn Powell. I haven't seen A Different Man. Maybe they would give it to Sebastian Stan, but I don't even think. I don't know. What do you guys think about this category? Okay, if they gave it to Hugh Grant, I would be shocked and I would love it. But I don't think that would happen. Gabrielle LaBelle was amazing as Lauren Michaels, but I don't think that's really, there was enough there to give it an award. Like, you know what I mean? I heard Jesse Plemons is the best thing about Kinds of Kindness. And he's incredible, but he's always incredible, so I'm not surprised. I still haven't seen it yet. I know I'm a bad Yorgos Lanthimos fan, but I know it's the same writer that did The Lobster with him, and I was not a fan of The Lobster, and maybe I need to rewatch it. But loved Poor Things, obviously. I wouldn't shut up about it last year. So this is a strange one. I don't even know what I would put money on at this point for this category. I'd love to know what you guys think about that. Okay, let's move on because this category is just too bizarre. I don't know. Okay, I'll say Jesse Eisenberg maybe has the best chance, but I haven't even seen it, so I can't say that. But I don't know. This is bizarre. This is going to be one of the most interesting of the night for sure when we see who wins this. Best performance by a female actor in a supporting role in any motion picture. So we've got Selena Gomez and Emilia Perez, Ariana Grande, Wicked, Felicity Jones, The Brutalist, Margaret Qualley, The Substance. Love that one. Love that. When that was like an early on announcement too, and I was like, wait, they're giving Margaret Qualley a nomination, then they are definitely giving Demi a nomination. Substance, all the love for The Substance is like, I think it's fantastic. Isabella Rossellini, Conclave, and Zoe Saldana. Danya. Is it Danya or Donna? I think it's Danya because of the accent, but I don't speak Spanish and I took French in high school. So the accents when it comes to, a Spanish name, I sometimes mispronounce them. Selena Gomez is not winning. Felicity Jones, I feel like has a chance from what I've heard, but I wouldn't go so far to say that she's winning. Margaret Qualley, I'd be shocked. I wouldn't be upset about it. I'd be fine with it. I thought she was great. Isabella Rossellini, I love her, but the movie, like, she's barely in it. Like, she really is barely in it, and she has great stage presence. I said this earlier, not stage presence, but on camera presence, and she's got this, like, I feel like she's kind of like judging the men the whole time in this she keeps it to herself, and she knows there's like a lot of effed up stuff going on behind closed doors, but I just don't see her winning because it's just such a small role. And then Zoe Saldana, I've heard she should be in the Best Actress category, but they're not putting her there. They're putting her in supporting. So I don't know. It could be given to Zoe. It could. I personally think Ariana Grande is just going to sweep this entire season. I really do. I think her performance in Wicked was absolutely phenomenal, and it's so nuanced, and there's so many little things that she did that I think, like, if you've only seen the movie once and you don't believe me that she was good, watch it again because I guarantee you will pick up on it. Yeah. So I think Felicity Jones, Ariana Grande, and Zoe are probably the front runners right here. Again, I would love Margaret Qualley to be a front runner, and maybe she is, and I just don't realize that. But like, I just have a hard time believing that they would give Margaret Qualley the win here, even though I loved her. Best performance by a male actor in supporting role in any motion picture. Supporting. So we've got Yura Borzov from Anora. I heard he's amazing. I can't wait to see Anora. Kieran Culkin. He's probably going to win everything. If Yura does not, I think it's their race. Guy Pearce, I've heard, is phenomenal in The Brutalist. Edward Norton, I've heard, is great in Complete Unknown, but I heard Edward Norton's role is so small that it doesn't really qualify. Kind of like what I was saying about Isabella Rossellini. I already said Guy Pearce. Jeremy Strong, love this. I love Jeremy Strong. I love that we've got 2 Succession people in this category. It's great. Thrilled for Jeremy Strong. He's such a great actor. It's not even funny. And then Denzel Washington for Gladiator 2, which I still haven't seen Gladiator 2 because I have no time to go to the movies anymore. But my goodness, I was so shocked to see that there. So as far as I'm saying, Kieran Culkin and then Yura are probably the 2 front runners for this, except maybe Guy Pearce. Be crazy if it went to Jeremy Strong though. That would be absolutely wild. Best Director Motion Picture. So this is the category that everyone's sad about because Denis Villeneuve is not here. I don't know how much this is going to change when it comes to the actual Oscars. I really hope that Coralie Fargeau, is it Jo? I have a hard time pronouncing that. I have to find out exactly the right pronunciation. But the director of The Substance, I thought she was phenomenal, absolutely incredible job. The Kubrick influences, the Cronenberg influences, so many interesting things that she brought to this film. I absolutely loved it. So she definitely deserves to be here, and I really hope that this means she's getting an Oscar nomination because she absolutely deserves it. I think the chances of The Substance getting major Oscar nominations are much bigger now after the Golden Globes noms. All We Imagine Is Light, I heard, is incredible. I've not seen it. So that's the foreign film. The Brutalist, I've also heard. We've talked about that. So right now, Best Director, Sean Baker, maybe, because everyone loves what he did with Anora. Sean Baker or Coralie would be probably my favorites. Edward Berger did a great job with Conclave, and then you think about the overall burden of like what type of movie was made. So you look at The Brutalist, that movie's 3.5 hours long. People absolutely love it. It's this big epic. So do you reward someone because of that? So would Brady Corbett get it because of that? I don't think Amelia Perez is going to win. I don't want it to win. I'm being horrible too. I've seen so many silly things about that movie. So I'm going to check it out though. And I have to stop being so harsh on a movie I've never watched because I hate when people do that. And I'm being so hypocritical by being so harsh on Amelia Perez. So I'll move on. Let's see here. We've got some people in the chat. So I saw Kinds of Kindness. I love experimental films and I hated it. And I loved The Lobster. LOL. Okay. So that's very interesting. I haven't heard anyone being like, I absolutely loved Kinds of Kindness. So I'm not surprised. I've heard people say that they liked Kinds of Kindness more on the second watch. Jesse Plemons' Kinds of Kindness easily had the best characters and gave the best performances. Okay. I'll definitely check it out. Lobster is funny. Yeah. I need to give that a second chance, I think. Kinds of Kindness was some sort of triptych 3-parter that was not connected in any way. That's what I was shocked about. That I kept hearing that the stories weren't connected at all, which is bizarre to me. If I'm watching an anthology type of film, I would want them to be connected in some way. But maybe I'm asking too much. Who knows? Okay, they're talking to each other. Never heard of these movies like Night Bitch, Kinds of Kindness, Lee, Baby Girl, and others. Um, well, Night Bitch and Baby Girl have not come out yet. I don't know the deal with Lee at all, which is why I'm surprised that Kate Winslet's on here, to be honest. So Kinds of Kindness came out in June, I believe. So but Baby Girl comes out for Christmas. If you haven't seen a trailer for Baby Girl or Night Bitch, I'm sure you will start seeing them uh soon because they're being promoted. Um MB says Shane Mason Themes was snubbed in Best Actor in a comedy or musical. I don't know who that is. Let me check. Let me take a look here. Mason Themes. Mason. Oh, it's THAM. Yes. What was he in though? What would he have been in that would have gotten him a nomination? Let's see. I don't see anything technically. Oh, he was the kid in Black Phone. I don't see anything that he would have gotten nominated for. But if you know, please tell me. Uh, Dune 2 probably came out too early in the year to get major consideration. Sometimes, but then you look at a movie like Get Out, and Get Out came out in like February, and then it won Best Screenplay. I mean, who knows? Killing of a Sacred Deer is also pretty underrated. I need to see that movie. It's been on my list forever. So okay, let's move on because I gotta get out of here in like 7 minutes. So I gotta hurry up. Screenplay. We got Amelia Perez, Honora, The Brutalist, A Real Pain, The Substance, Conclave. I need to watch most of these, so I'm not going to give an opinion. I've only seen The Substance and Conclave, so I really don't think I can give a valid thing, a valid opinion right now. The Substance would be dope. A Real Pain, I think, would be pretty cool. Conclave, really great script. But I've heard the Brutalist script is fantastic. So yeah, sorry, I can't give an opinion on those yet until I watch those movies. Best original score. This I can give an opinion on because I think that I was thrilled that Chris Bowers got nominated for The Wild Robot, and I was thrilled that Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross got nominated for Challengers because my God, did that score make that movie just explode? Like that really, really, really just worked so well in tandem with Luca Guadagnino's direction. So I think I would be thrilled if Challengers. So yeah, actually, I would be happy with all of these except for Emilia Perez. Again, a movie that I haven't seen, but I loved the Conclave. The Conclave score. I think that if I had to choose, though, this is what I was trying to say. Challengers and the Wild Robot. I would be thrilled if either of those won. Would I be upset if Conclave or the Brutalist won? No, because I've heard those scores are great. Well, I know the Conclave score was great. The Brutalist I've heard is great though. So I think I'd really only be disappointed if Amelia Perez won. Oh, and then Hans Zimmer. I forgot he's there, but he's nominated every year. So I don't know. I don't think Hans Zimmer needs to win for Dune Part 2. I maybe I'm being a snob, but I just don't think he needs to win for that. Best original song. We're gonna skip this because I don't really care that much. I mean, maybe we'll get Miley Cyrus to perform at the Oscars. That's probably really the amount of that I care. Oh, and this okay. Has anyone seen Better Man? By the way, the Robbie Williams monkey movie. I don't know what the hell that is, and it freaks me out. And I want to know like if you guys have seen the Better Man movie because the trailer is insane to me, like absolutely insane. I think that's it. I think we made it. I think we made it through because then it's just television, which is fine. But I'm not going to talk about television because I out of everything that's nominated, I've probably watched a handful of the series. So, okay, so I'm going to get out of this. I'm going to hit the chat and thank you guys so much for stopping by. We kind of did a little deep dive. Happy award season. It's very exciting. I don't know who's going to win a lot of things, which is great because typically it's always like, oh, well, that's going to get that, and that's going to get that, and that's going to get that. And that's no fun. That's boring. So I'm thrilled that we can all be in suspense together on Golden Globes night, which is in January. I think it airs right before the Oscar nominees get announced. That's typically how it goes. And I think we'll be getting BAFTA nominations soon too, but maybe I'm wrong. But I think we should be getting the BAFTA nominations in the very near future. Let's see here. The Substance was better written than Get Out for a horror film. I mean, maybe, but I feel like it's kind of comparing apples and oranges. I think they're both solid. And actually, I love that you brought up Get Out because I feel like The Substance kind of does fall in that genre, which is, maybe why the Academy is, or the Globes at least, hopefully the Academy is recognizing it. I really thought that the end of The Substance would be way too out there for these people to go for it, but they're going for it, and I love it. I love the trailer to Better Man. It looks awesome. And are you from the UK, Terrace? I would love to know that because Robbie Williams was never big here. And it's really interesting to me because I remember watching like the VMAs when I was like 15, so like a very long time ago. And Robbie Williams would get nominated. And I'd be like, oh, it's that guy again. But like no one, like we didn't know who he was because Robbie Williams was like never on our radio stations or anything like that. So it's interesting that he chose to have his biopic of himself be portrayed as a monkey. So it's very interesting. Genuinely like the idea of Robbie anthropomorphizing himself in a monkey face helmet thingy. Great artistic choice. Okay, yes, and he is British. Lived in London for like 15 years, millennial through and through. Okay, so okay, so once you see this movie, please let me know what your thoughts are. And I would love to know what your thoughts are of why Robbie Williams chose to showcase his story as if it was a monkey. I would I'm very curious about why he made that choice. And you're saying you love it. You know way more about Robbie Williams than I do, obviously. As I said, Americans barely know who he is. I know he's incredibly successful. Like I've known that. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. Face Off 2. Yes, that is actually happening, by the way. I don't know if you guys heard this, but Nicolas Cage and John Travolta are coming back for Face Off 2. It's going to be an interesting one. These studios need to make money. So what are they going to do? They're going to do sequels. And they're going to do sequels and they're going to do the trilogy and they're going to do, they're just going to keep going with these franchises because that seems to be the only thing people are going to see in theaters, which is sad. But if we want to get some artistic films, these studios need to make money somehow. So they're going to make a sequel and then fund a bunch of other films that if they do, for the Oscars. That's always what it is. Studios like to make money with the blockbusters and they like to get their, prestigiousness by taking the money they got from these big blockbusters and funding a smaller indie film that could potentially get them an Oscar. So that's kind of how it works. It's been like that since the beginning of time. And I have nothing really wrong with that, but I just think that's why in the mainstream stuff, we're just going to keep seeing sequels. Well, this has been a lovely chat. Thanks so much, guys, for stopping by. Award season is here. I'm very excited. And yeah, I guess I will see you guys next time. Thanks so much again, Terrace, for the super chat. That was very kind of you. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time.